Hello people, how are you doing? Another update for my journey to become an Uber driver. This particular video is completely based on the tests that you have to sit in order to obtain your private hire license, which you need before you can even think about driving for Uber with Uber. The tests in question I'm talking about are the knowledge and locality tests. Mine were for Durham County. I live in Durham, so I've done everything through Durham County Council. I have heard that, depending on where you're going to be doing this, there may be some different sort of steps, different requirements, different things you need to do. However, I can't imagine things being totally different to what I've done. Like I say, this is all about knowledge and locality. With me hands held completely high, I totally messed up my tests. Had them yesterday. The locality test I had first, then I had my knowledge tests. The locality test, first of all, it's all based on the A to Z. So it's all based on your ability. You need to prove that you are capable of using an A to Z guide. You'll be given one in the test. It's an open book test, the locality test, so it's all open book. You have the A to Z there with you, and basically it's a case of demonstrating your ability to use an A to Z. Now, I did know this before I went into the test, so no excuses here. I knew that I was going to have to use an A to Z. I knew that was 100% of the locality side of things. The test itself, you do need to get 100%. There's no mistakes. If you make one mistake, you've failed. So you've got to get 100%. The locality test basically starts off whereby you have to demonstrate, you have to find the grid locations and page locations of a particular destination. For example, you may be asked to find a museum of a certain part of in County Durham. You might be asked to find a railway station, and you have to write down the grid referencing. That part is fairly straightforward. Just to rewind a little bit, I've been driving almost 20 years. This is going to be a little bit of a rant. I'm going to get this out of the way, right, because I feel I need to. I've been driving just shy of 20 years. I've never had to use an A to Z. I've done a lot of driving, I've done a lot of deliveries, I've done a lot of takeaway deliveries, I've helped people out with courier sort of stuff. It's 2018, okay? We all use satellite navigation. I actually talk to my phone. I say to my phone, okay Google, navigate me to such and such place, and it takes me there. And I've got a 99.9%, it's never let me down. It's been fine. However, these tests, in my honest opinion, they're old-fashioned. This is all based on, I believe these tests were in place when satellite navigation wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even available on an old-fashioned massive TomTom. Everyone now who has a smartphone has got satellite navigation. However, none of the testing at all will be asking you about sat-nav. It's all based on your ability to use an A to Z. So I bought one, I studied it, I looked at bits and pieces. I did spend hours going through things. However, I got completely stumped. I found the grid referencing okay. I found the pages okay. That's fairly straightforward. What got me was the second part of the locality test. They ask you to, you've got an assessor sat in the room with you. So the first 25 minutes is finding your grid locations. She then actually said to me, 25 minutes is now up. That gives you a bit of an alarm bell to then be aware that you now have to explain. There's 4 routes that you have to explain. You have to give 4 routes from destination, from point A to point B. This is where I completely lost the plot. I've never, like I say, I haven't studied, I haven't used an A to Z, and I haven't studied them, you know, on the run up of this test. I didn't study them enough. So basically, that's what stumped me. I knew I had 20 minutes to go. I just finished off finding my grid references and the pages for the destinations that had asked me, and that was a case of the pages just started jumping all over the place. You know, I didn't know fully how to go from my fault, didn't revise it enough, didn't know it enough, but I know now. So when I do my next test, when I rebook it, if I fail the next time, then that is totally out of order, because there's no reason why I shouldn't pass the second time. So basically with the locality test, again, this is going on County Durham. I've heard that apparently if you do this in Newcastle, they don't no longer bother with the locality tests. That might be complete bullshit, but that's what I've heard. So, you know, if you are you know, booked in for any of these tests, wherever you live in the country, just make sure you will have been sent an email about your tests. And I was sent a lot of, this is one of the things that I'll hold my hands up to, I was sent a lot of attachments with PDF documents in them, and I read through a lot of them. I printed a lot of them off, and I've went through them when I've had some spare time, but I haven't covered enough. So yeah, just make sure that for the locality side of stuff, especially if you're looking at this, you're doing this in Durham, the locality side of stuff, you need to be able to use an A to Z confidently. You need to be able to, you've got 45 minutes to find eight destinations, 8 places in the A to Z. Then you need to be able to explain the best route for 4 different routes that you will be asked. You've got to explain how you get from A to B the best route possible, the fastest, best route possible. You've got to be able to do that in 45 minutes. So just be aware. You've got to do your homework on this, yeah? The second part of it all was the knowledge test. The knowledge test is built up of highway code questions, a lot of questions on the sort of the regulation side of becoming a private hired driver. Again, you will be sent a lot of stuff via email when you book this test, which will give you a lot of the answers, a lot of help. Study up on that. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure I have failed that part yet. I'm waiting to get an email. I think I did. There was a few of the maybe I was too cocky, but there was a lot of a few of the signs that I had to look at. I've been driving 20 years and I've never seen them. There was about at least 2 that I've never actually seen. So I was totally like, what on it? And I did do some studying. I had my driving test last week. I passed that no problem. I had questions on that as well. The guy before he did my assessment, my actual physical, practical driving assessment, he asked me questions on that last week. No problem whatsoever. This one, like I said, 2 at least. I can't even recall seeing them before. So you need to honestly, you need to spend a good amount of time. If you're serious about doing this, you've got to spend a lot of time studying up. It's just the way it is. I don't agree with it. I think it's ridiculous what they're kind of asking you to do to get this license. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. They're the rules. So you're gonna have to do it if you want to do the license. The third part of the day was had a child sexual exploitations course. That was fine. There's no pass or fail with that. I say it's fine. It was pretty horrible, to be honest with you. The stuff that you've got to sit through, they show you videos on stuff, and it's I did take something away from that, because if I'm serious about doing this, you kind of want to help, and it's kind of shocking to think what's going on. There was a lot of harrowing stories about just kids being exploited, basically, and young vulnerable adults being exploited in in the worst possible way. So that was good. It sort of gave me a bit of a heads up as to what's expected from me as a person taxiing people about. So that was fine. There's no pass or fail with that. It's just a case of sitting there and taking in some information. Just going back on the locality and the knowledge tests. The locality test, I did that on my own. I was with an assessor. I went in, I sat there and did my locality test. The knowledge test is sort of a classroom-based test, so it's kind of like takes you back to school a little bit. And I did. There was 8 of us that did the knowledge test. Before the knowledge test, we all had a chance. We were all sat waiting to actually take the test, and I had a bit of a chance to have a chat with some strangers about their experience with stuff. Out of the 8 people that were doing the knowledge test, 3 people that I spoke to were doing resits, so they'd done it before and failed. The other 5 that I spoke to briefly around a kind of a little table, the other 5, 3 of them were 100% that failed, the locality side of it. 2 of them were a bit humming and hawing, weren't actually sure. One of them was a total cocky. You always get them, don't you, on these courses? You always get one that's a total arsehole. Oh, I know everything. Maps I love maps. Knobhead. Sorry, anyway, if you have, yeah, sorry. But yeah, so yeah, you gotta be, it's honestly, like, we all had a conversation, and I think a lot of people were saying, it's kind of in the council's best interest that you do fail first time around, because you got to pay again. You've got to pay for these tests every time you fail them to do them again. So it's like 34 quid, £34 for the 2 together. If you only fail one of them, you only pay for one of them to resit. One of them's 20, the other one's 14. So it's like, yeah, and on speaking to people, it did sort of reassure me a little bit, because I kind of was thinking, God, you failed, that was shocking. But everybody else seemed to be really struggling with it. There was one guy that told me one of his friends just give up. He'd been driving in a delivery sort of job for ages. I think he had 5 attempts, and he just decided he couldn't do it. I think he got nervous on the day of the test, and he got a bit anxious, which people do. But he totally, it really kind of, it hit him hard, so he packed it in. But don't do that if you're serious about doing this, because I am hopeful about this whole Uber sort of journey. But like, if you're really keen and you don't let it put you off, just keep going. I'm going to really study up. I haven't booked my resits yet. Like I say, I haven't had my marks on the locality one yet, but the knowledge one, I know I failed that. I've had the results through. But don't give up and just study up. I hope this has helped. Like I say, I'm going to update the blog as well, in case people don't want to sit through this. I didn't mean to go on this long, but there's quite a lot of stuff to go into there. But yeah, I think if I've missed anything out you're keen to know about, if you do end up watching this video, if there's anything you really want to know that I have missed out, please just drop us a comment on this, and we'll get back to you. If I don't know it, I'll try and find out. If I do know it, then I'll let you know straight away. But yeah, it was an experience. I'm sort of looking at it as a learning curve. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I could have done more. I should have done more, but maybe I was a bit cocky thinking that, I've been driving 20 years. I've got no points. I've never had no points on my licence. I've never had an insurance claim on my licence in 20 years. Maybe I was a bit cocky thinking, I don't need it. I know all this. I didn't. So yeah, I hope this has helped. I hope you enjoy the rest of the blog. Please keep give us a shout if you want to know anything, or if it's, if you want to leave a comment, just do so. Thanks very much. I'll speak to you soon. Take it easy, people. Bye bye.